to introduce Steve McDonnell.
How's everyone? Des was talking about breed and winners all over medals. I definitely take one of those. So I'm going to share with you, I suppose, it's kind of pathway. I suppose, look, my sporting journey really, that's what it is. I think I'm going to concentrate a lot on when I was your age. I'm looking around and seeing more parents than, or adults than kids, but I suppose, look, I'll share stories with you when I was kind of 14, 15, 16, coming through the Cork setup, and now I suppose to where I am now. So taking it back, going right back to, so this is anyone from the Glen here? You can see Sean Martin, Des. Any players? No? Alright, brilliant. So, as you can see, that's Glen Heights, taking Google Maps, that's Glen Heights Park. And I suppose there's the Glen Rovers. You can see the netting for the Glen there. So where I lived was very much right next to the Glen. Now, I grew up and I played every sport I could. I was very lucky that I had a lot of friends my own age in the park. There's two of them. One of them was my best friend. We won all our medal together. Another guy, a very good friend of mine. Out of curiosity, which guy do you think I am? Fell in the left, hands up. Fell in the middle, hands up. And the guy in the right? Jeez. That's me in the middle there, guy in the middle. So, that picture was actually taken in right there in that kind of area there. My mother took it, remember it was like yesterday, and it's a very important picture to me because I must have been 6 or 7, I'd say. But when you look at it, you know, we're all at the same stage, 6, 7 going into life, I suppose if you want to put it that way. Life is ahead of us. The ups and the downs and all that stuff is all ahead of us, and I suppose how I reacted to the downs, I suppose dictated that I'm here today. I suppose and they're the lessons that I want to share with you. Either side of me and my two good friends that had just as much potential as me, but didn't really react to the downs as well as I did. So it's a very important picture for me, because I kept taking one step in front of the other and kept moving on in life. It meant I had to let go of some friends, and the two of those people were two of those friends that I had to let go of. So it's a very important picture to give you an idea of what myself and, you can't see, but the guy in the right side of me, that was my best friend. When you have a best friend when you're that age, you have a best friend. To give you an idea what we were up to, so we used to go down by the green there with the pathway going through it. He used to play with me with the Glen, right? We best of friends. The wall on the left hand side of the screen there, it's a wall up to about this height, and then behind it there's a house. So we used to go down, we got paint, we drew a stick man on the wall with a head. First to 5 into the middle of the head. Even though we weren't hitting the house, the vibration would still go back to the house. So I'd say 10 minutes we'd be told to get lost by the people that live in there. Fair enough. We were prepared for that. So we were ready to go when that happened. So we had a tennis ball. When that happened, we had a tennis ball, but we weren't going to hit it off the wall, because if we were hitting tissue off the wall, they'd tell us to get lost. So we turn around and we try and hit it between the windows with the tennis ball. Right? Recipe for disaster. But that's what we used to do. We used to have great crack. So we start on the left. And when we get to this house here, right? It was one of these houses, but no, it was one of these houses, but I'm going to point to that house because someone might know the person living there, right? Because when we got to that house, it was a different ball game. Every time we used to take the shot, no problem, into the middle, come back to us, moving on, into the middle, come back to us, we get to that house, and it's a different ball game. Why? Because we know the risk is a lot higher here. If we break the window, if we hit the window, the person living there wasn't the nicest of people. So we used to stop, we used to have a game rock, paper, scissors, and I actually remember like yesterday, I actually won the rock, paper, scissors, but he wouldn't take the shot, so I said I'd take the shot. And I was standing there. Previously, I used to just take the shot, no problem, move on, take the shot, no problem, move on. But now I'm standing there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm bouncing the tennis ball, and I'm starting to think, right? And this is the first time I got an idea of the power of the mind and how the mind can alter the outcome. 13 years of age, standing there with a tennis ball in that field. And I was looking, and I couldn't shake the image of the tennis ball going straight through the window of the house. I couldn't shake it. I was in 90 in my head. I was trying to think my way out of what was going on. Eventually I threw the ball up, took the shot. What happened? Straight through the centre window, exactly as I saw it. My buddy was gone. He was already gone, because when I was taking a shot, he was backing like this, going backwards. And he fell, actually, I kind of froze, and he fell kind of at the steps, a couple of houses up. I went to pick him up. The guy came out, absolutely killed us. I went up, told the parents what happened, came out, sorted it. But I suppose, when I look at this image, at 13 years of age, I see exactly what happened for me, because I was pushing myself outside my comfort zone, right? I was taking a shot in between two windows, but I was comfortable with it. Well, I wasn't comfortable, but I was just outside my comfort zone. But I believed in my abilities to be able to do it. Then I started to overthink and put myself under pressure, and I went straight into the red zone, and then I underperformed. You can see the curve going down, right? That was the first time I got a glimpse into that. I'll share with you how I used that kind of, I suppose, that scenario to make it, I suppose, into the Cork underage setup. But before I do that, which guy am I now? There's two of my, so I'm in, the two of us are there, right? Where are we now? Can you spot us? Anyone thinks they know where I am, shout it out. Which way? No. There I am, look. That's me, and then that's my buddy at the time, right? I was 14, right? And Stephen, Cork under 14 trial. Happy days, excited. So, Cork under 14 trial first. So all my sporting days would have been playing with Rockmount, soccer, the schools, and the Glen. That was it. Those three teams, or those three series of teams, because I would have played with the 13 and 14 teams of the Glen, I'd say, but there was multiple teams with the three different pitches and training grounds, I'd say. Cork under 14 trial took me right outside of that down to Charleville. So, it was fine. However, I started to feel pressure, I suppose, and again it was that curve, come back to the curve. I started to feel for myself. I started to kind of talk a bit, what happens if it goes wrong? What happens if I don't make it? But that's fine. I can deal with that, because you're always going to have that bit of self-doubt, right? But I didn't deal with the external pressure well. And what that is, that's parents, my mother and father, love them to bits. They saw me, doing well. They really wanted me to make the team, so come on now, Steve, you better drive on, you better do well today now, you better make that team. Management in the Glen, same. I started to really seize up, right, and get nervous, right, when you get nervous, right, look, I played in all our finals, all that stuff. I'd be a fool if I told you I wasn't nervous, but nerves can either go excitement, good to go, can't wait, I'm nervous, yeah, but it's good, or they can go, I'm dreading it, I'm really dreading it. Right, when you're on that side, you can run quicker, you're stronger, you can do good things. When you're on this side, you're weaker, a bit smaller. So, again, 14 years of age, my first trial. Which side was I on? Dread or excitement? You all agree with that? I was in dread because I overthought it, but I also, instead of me understanding that, okay, my parents are saying that all for the best intention, look, they want me to do well. Maybe they might be putting me under too much pressure, but that's fine. Same with the management. Just focus on what needs to be focused on, which is going out, enjoying it, and playing the game. Although I was focusing on if I play bad, if I do this, if I do that, all stuff that wasn't really relevant. So I remember it, got into the car, went down, played the game. How do you think I played? Good. Yeah, I played very, very bad. Atrocious. Why? Because I wasn't focused on the ball, my hurley, the next phase of play, get myself into a good position. I was focused on the outcome of what my parents might think if I don't play well, or what management might say, or what, all that kind of stuff, right, which is totally irrelevant, right? So I remember I was worried about what the parents might say and all that kind of stuff afterwards, put the gear into the car, went home. Parents didn't exactly comfort me, right? They were probably annoyed that I didn't play well as well. I know as young players and, at 14, 15, 16, you might go through the same thing, but that's fine. Doesn't mean your parents are bad people. Sometimes they want you to do so well that they might say things to hopefully make you play well, but in fact, it could go the opposite way as well, right? So that's definitely what happened to me at that age. I remember I went home and I was really, really upset. 14, I was upset. Went in home, the parents were gone. I was still upset, I was a bit in shock, but I suppose I went up to my room and I was I was angry that I played bad, I was sad, all that kind of stuff. Body language, what's the body language when you're feeling like that? Alright, it's hunched over, as you'd imagine, kind of head down, thinking. And then I made a decision. I said, wait now a second, I still have a chance. There's still a chance, even though I was atrocious. Like, there was 2 trial games coming up. This is trial 1, there was a trial 2. I goes, I have another shot, and look, I was so bad that you could say you don't even turn up, you're scratched off the list, you're going to be making up numbers so that they can look at other fellas. That's where I was, no question about it, at 14 years of age. And it was 3 weeks away. So what I done was, I just prepared, right? And that's the first, I suppose, lesson that I'd like to share with you. When you're nervous, you're either going to be dreading something or excited for something. And quite often, the difference is your preparation, your practice that you're putting. When you look at confidence, that's confidence. If you look at a pyramid to confidence, the bottom layer is preparation, right? So if you don't get that right, you won't be confident in anything you do. You're going into an exam. If you don't study, you're going to be dreading it. If you study, do a bit of work, you'll be excited, give me the paper, right? So that's the first lesson. And so what I done was, there was 2 walls that I could poke around with my estate. When we saw the estate, there was houses everywhere, dangers everywhere because parents didn't like fellas poking ball off wall. So I found 2 corners that I could puck off with. So I used to go down there every day, 3 times a day. If I was training, I'd go down 2 times a day. I'd skip the training. This is a 14, and I'd 4 times off the left, don't know, 1 touch in the hand, 4 times off the right, don't know, 1 touch in the hand. I move on to the next phase, middle level, and the last phase then was the top level where I hit a point and catch it. If I broke down on any stage, I'd go back to the very start. And I kept doing that. I'd done it every day. The trial came along. Was I dreading it or excited for it? My parents were still saying the same thing. Management was still saying the same thing. But I was like, okay, I can't control what they say, but I can control how I react to it, how I respond. And I want to go out and enjoy it. I want to go out and play well. So I worked hard, prepared, went out, played well, played a very good game. I made a panel. I got a shot then at the under 14 tournament. I came on at half time, done very well when I came on, and started the whole rest of the games. Got nominated for man of match. We got beaten in the semi-final by Kilkenny. I got nominated for man of match in that, even though we got beaten. And it was at 14 years of age I started to understand, geez, these things you can bring across every area in your life. How important preparation was. And I did do that. So I went to St. Aidan's, and that's Cork GAA picture. So I want to share with you the next, I suppose which guy am I there in that picture? That's me there. Obviously it's not. In St. Aidan's, right, I go from primary school to secondary school, right, so 14 years of age, first years, right, How many first years do we have in the room? How many second years? And third? Couple of third. Alright, so the biggest, and I'm going to bring it right back to this picture here, right? The biggest challenge that I had in going into secondary school was I fitted into the group, right? I fitted into the group. And my buddy was just as good at hurling as I was, if not better. Full forward for an all-round winning failure team. I was wing back, he was full forward. All-round winning failure, top team, beat Loughlin Gales, 4 points in the final. He's full forward, great player. And very good at school. You know, when you're in school and you get a maths question, whatever it is, I got an answer, he got an answer. If my answer was different to his, I went wrong somewhere. So I'd be looking back through his to see where I went wrong, changing it, right? He was very diligent, very good. Now, full forward in an all-round winning failure team, quit sport at 16 years of age, very diligent in school, left school in 4th year, right? So, courage is the next lesson that I learned. But courage is a lot of things, but courage to be yourself, right? Courage to be yourself. I was in school and I was sitting in the group, and we were the messers, like that's who we were. You know, we used to do bullying people and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what they used to do. I knew it wasn't right, but I just let it happen. I stayed in that side, I stayed in the group. We were in 1st year or 2nd year, and we were down at the bottom right of the school, right? And then I think it was on a Monday, every Monday we had a class where maths was this side, and then we went from maths to PE, which up to right at the other side of the school. We used to walk up, we used to zigzag, or we used to take our time going up so we see the whole school, you know. And we got up to, we used to pass, I suppose we see everyone, like, he was cool, he was all that kind of stuff, right? Everyone smiling and joking, having a crack and wanting to be on his good side, right? So we were like, geez, we want to be like that. That's what I want to be like. And he, I suppose what happened was, we didn't understand at the time, but the reason he was, so I suppose people wanted to be around him so much because he was a bully. People were afraid of him, really. That's what it was. He was fighting, suspended from school, doing drugs, all that stuff, hanging up at his shop. And at a young age, we wanted to be like that, but we didn't realise what was going on, and what he was doing, and what he was doing. So instead of knocking for me, knocking on the door, saying, come on Steve, let's go into the field, play a bit of hurling, and he was like, let's go to the shop, to my brother and his gang. So we were 15, 16 now. And we started to go into the shop. So what happened when we went up to the shop? We started doing what they were doing. What were they doing? Handing me a drink, handing me a cigarette. Oh, that's 15 years of age, right? So I had to make a decision. And now I know the 14, 15, 16 year olds, you'll have to make a decision as well. There's the hard right or the easy wrong. What's the courageous thing to do? The courageous thing for me to do is say, I don't want to go up there, I want to play sport. Right? I want to study in school. Good friend of mine. I eventually got the courage to stand on my own 2 feet and say that. He didn't. That's why he left school at 16. That's why he left sport at 16 and left school in 4th year, because he took the wrong path. Wasn't courageous enough to be himself. He is now, he's struggling, like he's going through a hard time, but he could have easily been, just as well as I'm standing here, he could be standing here as well. But I had to make tough decisions. I had to be very, really, really brave. I done that, I went back into the school, came out of the gang. You know, I got suspended in school because I was in that gang. I got suspended in school because I was in that gang. So I had to make decisions. I had to say, what am I in school for? I'm in school to study, right? And like, it'd be ridiculous for me to come here and I tell you, if I have an opportunity to talk to 14, 15, 16 year olds, I have to tell you, don't waste school. Right? And the parents are going to love me after that. I know they are. But I was wasting school the first years of my life, right? I suppose what I love in people, right, is just honesty and integrity, right? And that's what I love in people. But when I was in my first 3 years in school, I was being someone else, right? So I wasn't even honest with myself. So I wasn't feeling great at all in the first couple of years. But then I started standing on 2 feet, and 4th, 5th, and 6th year, what happened was people are going to try and pull you back. Because not many people have the courage to do that. So they try and pull you back. And underneath all that then there's respect. So I suppose they tried to pull me back, but eventually they started to really respect me, and they started bringing people with me. I started inspiring people. So preparation, but you have to make tough decisions and be courageous, because the reality of it is, 14, 15, 16, there's 3 years between you. I've been with Cork since 2011, and there's only ever been a handful of players that have been in the Cork senior hurling team. There's 30 per squad, let's say. 90 players, you're talking 6 are going to play with Cork senior hurling team. So, do you want to be one of that 6 or not? If you do, you have to respect what it takes, and you have to be really courageous, right? So, I have to make you aware of that. So, just, not even, you all know who that is, don't you? Morgan Freeman, is it? Yeah, Nelson Mandela. I was lucky in school that I actually had a critical period where I was in that group. We were asked to do, we had a free class for a period of time, and they gave us time to get a book on a leader, read it, write a summary on it. I picked Nelson Mandela because it was a safe option. Teachers wouldn't tell me you can't read that book, and it was something that really stuck with me because I admired him. Instead of admiring the people by the shop, when I was looking for that person to really follow or be inspired by, I was able to look at him and say he was courageous, he was brave, he was compassionate, he'd done what he wanted, he stood on his own 2 feet, all that stuff. So I understood what it was, I suppose, to be a real man. Not to follow the pack, but to stand out on your own 2 feet. So I done that. I want you to just take 2 minutes, right, and between you and you, I want complete silence if you can do that, please, between you. I want you to just think about what it is you admire about people. Maybe to pick 3 qualities, 3 characteristic traits, or 3 things you admire about people. 3 things. So just take 2 minutes and just think about that. If you have honesty, or if you thought of honesty, or you like people that's honest, put your hands up. Nearly most of the room, brilliant. Anyone have sense of humour? Yeah? What about kindness? Or caring? Brilliant. Right, so just think about this, right? So, if you're lying to someone, if you said caring, right, is one of your really things you admire about people. If you're, I suppose, being mean to someone, right? If you're being mean to someone, how are you feeling? Bad, right? And I say if honesty was one, most of the room put their hand up for honesty. If you're lying and being deceitful, how are you feeling? You're not feeling great. Why? Because you're not standing on your own 2 feet, you're not being yourself. Because if you see it and admire it in someone else, it's because you have it in yourself, and there's a science behind that. Whatever you really admire in someone, it's because it's deeply within yourself as well. Right? And if you don't want, like if you pick 3 qualities there, 3 characteristics, let those be a guidepost for your life. If honesty is one of them, and you're lying, you're feeling bad because you're not being yourself. Alright? So, make sure you're checking those every day you wake up in the morning, to check those boxes. That'll give you the courage to make the right decision and do the hard right rather than easy wrong when you need to. Just to break it up, right? You've 3 seconds. Are you ready? How many? 16, hands up, 16? 12? 13? 14? 15? 17? We'll give it another shot. You ready? What's the difference? You know how many were there? What was the difference? Alright, so money, that's discipline, that's just being prepared again, time of preparation, school exams, all that kind of stuff. If you're studying with your phone next day, you're wasting your time. You're checking every 2 minutes, put the phone away, that's the difference. Chaos or organisation, you want to be excellent. You want to be those 6 players that are going to make it. Make sure you're doing the right things. So 2007 to 2010, right, so my sporting journey, right, and I don't know how much time I've left with you, right, so I'll try and speed it up, right, but from under 14, 15, 16, 17. So I played for Cork I played the Cork under 14, I played for Cork under 15 and Cork under 16. It was okay. I was getting by really. I wasn't really pushing myself too much. I found it tough. I found, playing with the Glen, winning all Irelands, we were very much a team, whereas with Cork, it was a bit fragmented, maybe individual in some part, right? So I didn't really like that. But I went and I played. I made a Cork minor team as a 17-year-old. I was on a bench. I made the All-Ireland team. Didn't make the Munster team. And then I captained the team in 2007. It was my final year minors. I was 18 years of age and I captained the team. So I got dropped as captain, right? Didn't start. Played in the Munster Championship, was pretty bad, right? And then got dropped for the All-Ireland series. Another fellow was captain in for the games, going up for the toss. It wasn't me, it was someone else. It's bad, isn't it? So how did that happen? With all the stuff I knew at that stage, I took on too much. There was a lot going on with hurling. I'm pretty sure there's more structures in place so that you don't take on too much. So I was playing with the Glen senior team, hurling. I was playing Fitzgibbon, Fresher as well, and Glen minor hurling football. But on top of that, I was working night shifts. So I go training at 9 at night to 9 in the morning, and then go training at 10 o'clock with Cork. I took on way too much. I burnt myself out. So look, there's a bit of a lesson in that for you is to just, if you want to play, if you want to perform at that level, make sure you respect it. I disrespected it. I said, I can work, I can do that, and I can play. I couldn't. I disrespected the sport. So I said I could do this. Make sure you're really respecting it. So that's what happened for me. It was tough. It was really tough. I'm talking kind of on the surface, but if I went down deep, I'll let you know how hard it was to go through the experience of being captain as an 18-year-old and then being dropped and the captaincy taken away from you. Again, there was bus loads from the Glen going up to the sport to support the games, and I was being whipped at half time and all that kind of stuff, so it was tough, right? Again, 2007 to 2010, Steve, Cork 21 trial, 19, don't want to go. 20 years of age, Cork 21 trial, Steve, no, I never play with Cork again. 21, Steve, Cork 21 trial, alright, I'll give it a go. I'll just give it a go. I know I still was a bit unsure of myself, still a bit unsure of things. I was afraid to go through that experience again of, being dropped and all that kind of stuff. But I went, it was alright. Started to really enjoy it with the Glen. And in 2010 we got to the county final. Anyone who beat the Glen in the county final in 2010? Say who said it? Des was over there. Des, when did you Des? Des was my selector for a couple of years with the Glen. So Sarah's beat us, but I had a great year that year because I just started playing. I stopped thinking about things. I just went out and played. I respected it. I practiced and stuff. But when the ball was turning, I just was there playing it. I wasn't thinking too much about it or any of that stuff. I went out and I just played, lived in the moment, played in the moment, really enjoyed it. Mark got big responsibilities, picking up key players of other teams and done very well. 2011, Cork senior hurling team knocked on the door. Come on, Steve, we're going to start training and we want you to come along. And I never looked back. That was my first year playing with the team, and I've been on a journey with the seniors ever since. So I came in and I came in 2011 and I really respected what it took to play senior with Cork, right? To play with Cork and I really respected what it takes to get the best out of yourself. So I took my chance, right? There's myself, I marked John Milan, who's guys I would watch on telly, with a bag of jellies and kind of 7 Up when I was young fella, right? I know I was marking him, I got the better of him, right? Consistent, solid performances all through 2011. I marked Lark Albert down in Park Queeve and I got the better of him. And then I was coming up, there was the likes of Ronan Curran, Ben and Jerry O'Connor, Neil McCarthy, Sean O'Halpine, John Gavin, all these boys, they're all still there. So, I was you know, at that stage, when you were coming on to the senior team, you know, you come on for the first year and you go into the bench, or you might make the bench. You know, you come on and you do your time, and then you might get a year or two down the line, you start. So I came in and started the first year, so I made a starting team of championship, and I took my chance, like. So, you know, you want a chance, work hard for it. When you get your chance, you take it, and you don't think, oh well, I'll come on and I'm here now, I'm on the panel, I get the gear and all that kind of stuff. You know, I was there because I was the best man to be there, and if you're the best man to be there, you're better for the team. So that's myself and Mark Albert there in the Munster Championship. Wherever I can't get there, you can see us turned upside down. I was haunted. It was a free, like, definitely a penalty, but I got away with it. Good time. So I progressed on, and you know, we got to the All-Ireland final 2013. We all know what happened then. Yeah. The first game in the All-Ireland final, anyone at it? First game, we drew the game, right? Tough game to go away without the medal. Geez, I didn't play a great game that day, right? Again, what had happened for me was I was doing a lot of things outside of it, which again, lads, you have to take care of your lives outside of sport, your relationships, you know, respect. Whatever lessons I'm telling you about hurling, you can take it and bring it across to everything else, relationships, family, school. I put more into relationships, family and work than I did at sport. Even though I was playing at that elite level, I was training at good, not elite. So I knew that in the back of my mind. I knew that. So when it came, when the ball was thrown in, I was back over here. I was dread. I was like, oh, 4's up. Went out, played, done all right. You know, I had experience and all that, so I was able to do okay, but I didn't do great. I remember on the bus, actually, we done a recovery session in one of the beaches near Dublin, and there was the following. So we stayed that night, and the following day we done a recovery session. But there was a paper there, and I picked up the paper, and I looked at the ratings of the players on the day, and all the boys were 7s and 8s, and I was a 5, right? You know, and I was like, there's two things that can happen. You can feel sorry for yourself, you know, and you can give out to the world, I'm on a 5, I'm this, I'm that, or you can do something about it. So I saw it straight away, right? Okay, I felt bad, right? But straight away I was like, yeah, because you're trying to, like, you know, you're trying to tell yourself that, oh, the reason I play bad because it didn't go my way, it didn't go this, you're looking for excuses. But right there was in front of me, no excuses, like, play bad. Why did you play bad? You know why you play bad. 3 weeks in between the game. 3 weeks in between the game. So what did I do for the 3 weeks? Remember that trial under 14? I knew what I had to do. So I went and I done it. And I found a new, because I was out at home at that stage, so I found a new wall. 3 balls, don't know, 3 balls. And I do it every day now. Unless I'm taking a rest day. So the next game came along, and I was really looking forward to it. I was man-mark with Tony Kelly. I was out centre back and picking him up wherever he went. And again, I played well, and went from, you know, being the worst player, 5 out of 10, whatever, when I was up 7 and 8, to then being nominated for man of the match 3 weeks later, when it was myself, Tony Kelly, and I think there was Colin Galvin, were the 3 people nominated for man of the match in the second game. So I really flipped it with hard work and preparation. So that was a big lesson for me. You know, look, if you play a bad game, I know when you're young and you play a bad game, you might feel bad and you're hard on yourself and all that stuff, but there's another game coming along, and just focus on getting ready for that. Focus on getting ready for that. And if you do bad in an exam, which is not an exam in the world you can't repeat, focus on getting ready for that. If you dwell on things, it doesn't help you. If you're sorry for yourself, you're only doing harm to yourself. So it's not all bells and whistles, right? So there is some things that might happen. 2013, no, we won 14-15. 14-15, we won the Munster 2014. We got to the All-Ireland semi-final. Who beat us in the All-Ireland semi-final? 2014. Who? Tipperary. They hammered us. 15 then was very bad, right? So we got hammered. So we thought we were, we got to the Ireland final, we could have won, we should have won. We thought we were there, like, we thought we just, we're there now, we were at that level where we can win the All-Ireland, let's go, like. Complacency came in, Tip came along and steamrolled us. Then we were scratching our heads, 2015. Oh, we thought we were the best we could have been. We're not good enough anymore, we're not going to do it. 2015, a very bad year for Cork. We won it with the Glen. We won the county with the Glen. So 2016. Alright. Happy days. I get a phone call. Manager, sit down. Stephen wants you to be captain. Right? Right, my dream, boys. When I was your age, it was to play with Cork. Right? Didn't even think about being captain. It was to play. Now I have a chance to be the captain, right? I grasped it, took it with both hands. Really looking forward to the year ahead. And down in Clyne, played a game down in Clyne before. It was kind of, I think February, March time, right? So I was focused on playing, getting the boys back with a bad year, 2015. We need to get a good year now this year. We're going to do that. There's a couple of things needed to change. We're going through a bit of transition period. It wasn't going well, but we knew that sometimes you need to get worse to get better, so we were on that journey. And then, an off the ball incident down in Clare, or down in Clyne against Clare, bust my elbow, as you can see, and set me right back. So I remember I was in the hospital, and I was just sitting there again, and I was angry at everyone because I broke it, and I was told to play on because we just didn't want to lose to Clare, because there was something against Clare because of the All-Ireland final, so they didn't want to take me off. 2 doctors come on and physio, and I play on. 20 minutes I played with it. I eventually came up myself. I was annoyed at that. I was annoyed at the person who done it, and off the ball incident. No need for it. And I just goes, you know what, this is a big opportunity here now, actually. I started again, like, there's a mindset, right? When you look at mindset, just read, if you can read that there and see which side you want to be on. Which side would you rather be living your life from? So the green side, is really about, living life and understanding that we live in an unbelievably mad world, but a brilliant world, and there's sometimes these things will happen. This happened to me, and I saw it as an opportunity to take a step back, to get my energy back, levels back up, but to look at how can I be the best captain, how can I be the best player, and I did that. And we came back in 2017, and I had a couple of things and tweaks that I was going to make happen. And I'm working through. I set up a leadership group and working through with them. We made it happen, and we really turned it around. And we won the Munster then, So going into 2017, we were written off left, right, centre. We were the 5th outsiders. Waterford, Limerick, Tip, and Clare were all ahead of us to win the Munster. We were right outsiders, and rightly so, because we had performed poorly the last couple of years. But we turned it right around. I was doing well, I was doing well as captain, but I took the opportunity of being injured, and I took, I suppose, the anger, and I put it to good use. Played Clare and once the final last year, we beat them. No, that's a good picture of me. Before that was this. That's just the passion that I had, right? That's just the passion that I had. So I think what I'll do is I'll just finish with this story about this guy here. He's you all know who that is, don't you? Michael Jordan. He's a brilliant friend of mine. So that quote speaks for itself, and the other thing about this guy is I played with Cork since I was 14, right? I was lucky enough that I played the whole way up. There's guys that didn't. James Henry didn't play with Cork. He played, first game he played, he was 23 years of age, right? Michael Jordan, best basketball player there ever was, couldn't make his high school team. Twice, he tried to go for it, and twice, no, you're not good enough. High school team, best player of all time. So he went away and he goes, okay, alright, I obviously have to work on a couple of things. What am I going to work on? Done it. I'd tell everyone here to read his story. Every person here should go and read his story, and you get from what you want to get from it, but it's an inspirational story. So I think my time is up. It's been a pleasure. I hope you get the good stuff. I hope you got something out of this, but from the guys that are speaking as well, are going to be brilliant. And I'll be around for a little bit after if you want to ask any questions. So thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.